Sharpe here, CEO of Oak Harvest Financial Group, certified financial planner professional and host of the Retirement Income Show. Here to talk to you about the CARES Act. This is the legislation that Congress has passed to help provide relief for those impacted by the coronavirus. We're going to talk about some benefits of the legislation and then some strategies towards the end of the video of how you can apply some of the rules to your retirement. And this doesn't apply if you're retired. There are provisions in here if you're still working or if you've been laid off that can absolutely benefit you. Number one, required minimum distributions have been waived for 2020. And this includes all qualified retirement accounts, including inherited IRAs. So some of you have already taken your required minimum distribution for 2020, and at the end of this video, we're going to talk about ways where you might be able to get that money back in because the law didn't pass until March 27th, so you may have taken it in January or February. Number two, 401k loans have been increased from 50% of your balance or $50,000, the lesser of, up to 100% of your account balance or $100,000, again, the lesser of, if you're still working. Typically, you have to take the lesser with a 401k loan of 50% of your account balance or $50,000. That's been increased to the lesser of 100% of your 401k account balance or $100,000. So 401k loans, they have to be repaid back through salary deferrals. If you don't pay them back, it becomes taxable income. But for short-term hardship purposes, you can take more money from a 401k loan than you could otherwise before. And number three, coronavirus distributions, so not loans, complete distributions from your retirement account have been allowed up to $100,000 with the option of either spreading that tax liability out over a 3-year period or having 3 years to repay that loan, and the 10% penalty if you're younger than 59 and a half has been completely waived. Instead of a loan, you may want to take a distribution from your retirement account. So if you are working and you have a 401k, your plan, your company must allow either hardship withdrawals or in-service distributions. The IRS has provided guidance to allow your company to amend their plan if they don't currently allow these in-service distribution or hardship withdrawals, but most plans these days do. If you have an IRA, you have more flexibility. You can take out that money without anyone's prior approval or plan document amendment being needed. But you can take up to $100,000, and you have a couple options here. So one, you can spread that tax hit by taking that money out of your retirement account over a 3-year period. So that's good because you can obviously reduce your taxable income in this year 2020 when you need the income the most because you've been adversely affected in a financial way by the coronavirus. Now, if you'd rather roll that money back into your retirement account so you don't take today from your retirement in the future, you do have that ability to roll that money back into your retirement account up to 3 years later. So the time frame for this starts the day after you take the first distribution from your qualified retirement account for a coronavirus-related scenario. Now, to qualify for these coronavirus distributions, I'm going to read to you from the IRS so you have exactly what they say qualifies as a coronavirus-related distribution from a qualified retirement account. Number one, you've been diagnosed with COVID-19. Number two, a spouse or dependent has been diagnosed with the coronavirus. Number three, you experience adverse financial consequences as a result of being quarantined, furloughed, or laid off. You experience adverse financial consequences as a result of being unable to work because of a lack of child care due to the coronavirus. And you experience adverse financial consequences as a result of closing or reducing hours of a business that you operate. So those are the areas where the IRS says that you qualify for taking a coronavirus distribution. I would encourage you to talk to your CPA or a tax professional if you have questions of whether you've been impacted or not. But the ability to take money out of your IRA or 401k and either spread that out over a 3-year period, the income tax liability, or give you up to 3 years to repay the money back into your retirement account is a very big benefit. There's also no 20% mandatory withholding. So typically if you make a distribution from a 401k, you have 20% being withheld. That has been waived. If you want to take $20,000 out of your retirement account, you'll receive the full $20,000. Now, before I go into a couple of examples of who may want to spread the tax hit from the coronavirus distribution over a 3-year period and who may want to include it into their income now, I want you to take a minute just to subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell icon so you'll be notified when we upload new content so we can keep you more connected to your money. And as things change in this ever-evolving coronavirus landscape or just retirement in general, you're going to be one of the first people to know and you can apply these strategies to your retirement. So if you're a business owner, and let's say you have income typically of a couple $100,000 a year, and right now business is down, income is down, but you expect things to be better, maybe in 6 months or sometime mid-2021. If you need to take a coronavirus distribution from your retirement account and you think your income will be higher next year and the year after, this year while your income is down, you may consider not spreading that income tax liability over a 3-year period. You may want it all in the tax return this year in a year where your income is down due to coronavirus. Again, this is because you may think that your income will be higher next year, so you don't want that income being spread out into future years where you're more profitable. Now, if you're an individual and the future is just murky, you've lost your job, you're uncertain whether any job you'll receive in the near future or even next year will be commensurate in pay to your skills and abilities or experience, you may have cash flow and the need to have as much money in your bank account as the biggest priority. So in that instance, you would want to take advantage of the ability to spread that income tax liability over a 3-year period. So again, everyone's circumstance is different. This is no different than retirement planning and what we do for clients on a daily basis, but your situation is different. So make sure you're applying these laws based on the way that they impact you, not best today, but best over the next few years. Now, if you have to take a coronavirus distribution, presumably you're going to want to use Form 8915. Now, talk to a CPA about this, but typically this is the form that you use to communicate to the IRS that you're taking some type of disaster impact on your tax return. So Form 8915 is what you're going to use most likely to communicate to the IRS, but check with a CPA on that. Now I'm going to talk to you about some specific strategies that you may be able to use to apply to your particular situation from some of the benefits that the CARES Act has passed. Now I want to encourage you to talk to your own CPA about these things because they know your situation, of course, in a customized fashion. But the first one is required minimum distributions that you may have taken in the beginning of the year before the law passed. So any required minimum distribution, if it's within 60 days, you could use the once per year rollover provision and roll that money back into your IRA. But the law does specifically say that distributions from an IRA, you have up to 3 years to roll back into an IRA. So if it's beyond 60 days since you've done your RMD, the spirit of this law does suggest that you could roll the money back into your IRA if you've already taken the required minimum distribution. So consult with a CPA about this, but if you've missed that 60-day window or if you've already taken your required minimum distribution, I believe personally that the spirit of the law suggests that you can, after 60 days, roll that distribution back into your retirement account. But again, check with the CPA. The second benefit or planning strategy here is you can reduce the amount of money inside your 401k. So 401ks are far more restrictive than individual retirement accounts. Typically when you retire, we take the money inside the 401k and we do a rollover into an IRA. If you're still working, you have restricted access to the money inside the 401k. So if you've been adversely affected by the coronavirus, this is an opportunity to get money out of that more restrictive 401k and into an IRA, and this may benefit you in the future, 2021, 2022, after the coronavirus has passed, but you may still be feeling some of the economic impact from what's transpired with this virus. And in 2021, you will not be able to access money inside your 401k like you can today. So if you've been impacted, this may be a great opportunity to get money out of the 401k into an IRA so you'll have some more flexibility in future years. Let's say you've been laid off or your spouse has been laid off and you think you might get a job, but maybe you don't, or maybe she doesn't or he doesn't, and you need this money in 2021. By getting it into the IRA now, you will have access to that money, albeit with an income tax liability and a 10% penalty if you're younger than 59 and a half, that you would not possibly otherwise have if it was still inside the 401k. So let's get money out of the 401k. Again, consult with a professional about your personal situation. Number 3 strategy to use the CARES Act to improve your financial situation is because of the lack of required minimum distribution required in 2020, you're going to have less income on your tax return than you otherwise would. This is an opportunity to do a larger Roth conversion. So I've been telling clients and been telling people on the Retirement Income Show for years that we need to get money out of those tax-infested accounts and into the tax-free Roth IRA. So when taxes are higher in the future, as I believe they will be, we have a plan, we've positioned ourselves to have access to funds that we don't have to pay these exorbitant tax rates on. If you are at RMD age, even though you don't have to take your required minimum distribution, this is a great opportunity to still take that money out of the IRA and move it into a tax-free Roth, because next year when you have to take your RMD, the ability to do a Roth conversion may be limited because now the RMD bumps you up into a higher tax bracket range. So let's use this opportunity to get more money into the Roth IRA. With that said, this law is not intended to give you 3 years to pay taxes on a Roth conversion. So I know many of you are thinking, well, Troy, with this coronavirus distribution and the ability to spread the tax hit out over a 3-year period from a distribution, can I do a Roth conversion and spread that tax out over a 3-year period? That is not the spirit of the law to get a tax benefit by using a tax planning strategy, Roth conversion, when you were not adversely impacted by the coronavirus. So I do not recommend using this 3-year ability to spread the income tax liability to do a Roth conversion. Now, with that said, if you have been adversely impacted by the coronavirus and you need to take a coronavirus distribution and spread that tax liability over a 3-year period, well, this is an opportunity to get money out of those accounts and into your regular accounts and spread that over a 3-year period. So again, your situation is unique, and these planning strategies, just like everything else in retirement or leading up to it, need to be customized around your particular circumstances. To summarize the benefits of the CARES legislation for you and your retirement: number 1, required minimum distributions have been waived for 2020. Number 2, 401k loans have been increased from 50% of your balance, or $50,000, the lesser of, up to 100% of your account balance, or $100,000, again, the lesser of. And number 3, coronavirus distributions, so not loans, complete distributions from your retirement account, have been allowed up to $100,000 with the option of either spreading that tax liability out over a 3-year period or having 3 years to repay that loan, and the 10% penalty if you're younger than 59 and a half has been completely waived. So make sure to share this video with a friend or family member or somebody you know that's been impacted by the coronavirus so we can help people make better decisions with their money.